What's up, guys? It's me, Tiff, and I'm in New York City to watch Sam Bankman-Fried's criminal trial in person, but it's Saturday, so there's no court today, so I just wanted to do a fun little video on Sam Bankman-Fried and Caroline Ellison's relationship. In case you're not aware, Caroline Ellison was the former CEO of Alameda Research, as well as Sam Bankman-Fried's on-again, off-again girlfriend. I've actually talked with Sam Bankman-Fried quite a bit about his relationship with Caroline Ellison, and personally, I find this stuff kind of interesting, maybe because I'm a girl, but I find it fun. So let's get into it, because Sam and Caroline actually had a lot in common. Sam's parents were Stanford professors, Caroline's parents were MIT professors. Both of them were math nerds. Sam used to go to summer math camps, and Caroline Ellison was apparently a high school Olympiad. She actually ended up majoring in math in Stanford, and both Caroline and Sam got really into effective altruism prior to even meeting. While Caroline was in college, she had an internship at Jane Street, which is actually where Sam was working and where the two of them first met. Sam sent me a bunch of his personal writings while he was on house arrest, and in one of the documents, he talks about his first impressions of Caroline Ellison. Sam writes that he first heard of Caroline Ellison shortly after he joined Jane Street. She was one of the core members of the highly respected Stanford Effective Altruism Group. She joined Jane Street a bit after I did, and we hung out a bit, mostly talking about effective altruism. She was wicked smart. She kicked my ass in high school and college math competitions and linguistics. He then includes a screenshot of her college math competition results, but he says that she was deeply insecure, even though she'd had essentially nothing but resounding success in her life and was donating large amounts of money to try to save lives. And everyone liked her. Well, Sam ended up leaving Jane Street in 2017 and founding Alameda Research. Caroline Ellison soon came on board, and apparently by 2018, the two had struck up a romantic, spicy interaction. In late 2018, Caroline confessed that she had strong romantic feelings for Sam in a memo stating, "I have pretty strong romantic feelings for Sam. Why is this a problem? These feelings consume a ton of my brain space. This prevents me from thinking about other important things and takes up a lot of my time. These feelings can often be positive or feel good, but are on net unpleasant. They affect my ability to work, mainly by amplifying work-related feelings in unhelpful ways. For example, I did a bad job on this thing, now Sam will hate me." Apparently, Sam responded to this by stating, "In a lot of ways, I don't really have a soul. This is a lot more obvious in some contexts than others, but in the end, there's a pretty decent argument that my empathy is fake, my feelings are fake, my facial reactions are fake. I don't feel happiness. What's the point in dating someone who you physically can't make happy? I have a long history of getting bored and claustrophobic. This has the makings of a time when I'm less worried about it than normal, but the baseline prior might be high enough that nothing else matters." He continued, "I feel conflicted about what I want. Sometimes I really want to be with you. Sometimes I want to stay at work for 60 hours straight and not think about anything else. I'm worried about power dynamics between us. This could destroy Alameda if it goes really poorly, PR-wise." He then says, "I make people sad. Even people who I inspire, I don't really make happy. And people who I date, it's really harrowing. It really fucking sucks to be with someone who A, you can't make happy, B, doesn't really respect anyone else, C, is constantly thinking really offensive things, D, doesn't have time for you, and E, wants to be alone half the time." As a final note, he includes, "There are a lot of really fucked up things about dating an employee." There's obviously a lot to unpack here. Sam blatantly says that he doesn't really have a soul, and I've actually talked with Sam quite a bit about his difficulty feeling empathy for others' feelings. He's basically said that he doesn't naturally really feel empathy for others, but he's able to mirror others' emotions or sort of logically understand what they might be feeling. And I'm obviously not a clinical psychologist, so I don't feel it's my place to label anyone with any sort of personality disorder, but I will say that I have noticed some of Sam's traits do align with some other traits of maybe sociopathy. I will say that I've actually asked Sam to his face whether or not he thinks he's a sociopath, but again, that whole thing is a lot to unpack, so we're not going to go there today. Let's get back to Sam and Caroline's relationship. So Sam continued his response with a list of arguments in favor of dating, which included, "I really fucking like you. I really like talking to you. And I really like fucking you." In one of my interviews with Sam over house arrest, he gave me sort of a loose timeline of him and Caroline's relationship history. Apparently they were on and off and mostly dated in 2020, a little into 2021. Apparently by the time he promoted her as CEO of Alameda Research, they were on a break. And then they dated again briefly in late 2021 and into early 2022, and then broke up again in early 2022. I asked Sam if it was a very serious relationship, and he said it was moderately serious relative to his other relationships, but not that long-lived, and that it's complicated because we knew each other so well going into it that our non-romantic relationship had already been serious. I've also asked Sam if they said I love you to each other, and Sam said that in the best of times they would say I love you to each other, but he then said that he wasn't really sure if he ever meant it, and also that he doesn't really know what love feels like or is supposed to feel like, and is also not sure if he's capable of feeling love. So again, we're now sort of straying back into the potential sociopathy territory, so I will leave it at that. I've pointed out that Sam and Caroline sort of sound like a match made in heaven on paper. They're both, math nerds with professor parents that are both really into EA, etc. But he pointed out a few things that he didn't particularly like about Caroline. For example, apparently Caroline is very religious, which is a fun fact. Apparently her favorite part of the week until she was in her 20s was going to Catholic church each Sunday. He also said that she went through a very long phase in which she was very into traditional gender roles. He has also called her in conversation quite clingy and sometimes annoying, but also Sam seems to get annoyed of everyone. I'm sure he thinks I'm fucking annoying too, and probably because I am. Basically, the gist of Sam and Caroline's relationship as he described it to me sounded like a classic anxious avoidant attachment relationship. Obviously, I'm not a therapist, but I've been in some of those before, so anyway. Apparently, Sam was singularly focused on work, and she wanted more time and attention and validation from him. He didn't know what he wanted in the relationship and grew claustrophobic and unresponsive, which apparently heightened her anxiety and made her message him and ask for more. So again, their romantic relationship was sort of on again and off again, and they finally broke up for good in February 2022. I asked Sam if they ended on good terms, and he said that Caroline was pissy after their first breakup, and after the second she was more distant and avoidant and was more likely to not engage or not respond or cry if he said anything substantive or negative to her. He also mentioned that the Modulo stuff didn't help, and at the time that he brought up the Modulo stuff, I didn't know what he was talking about, but apparently Modulo was sort of a competing hedge fund to Alameda Research. The juicy part of this is that apparently Sam used to have a fling with the CEO and founder of Modulo named Lily Zhang. Sam described Lily Zhang as a woman that Caroline was always nervous he liked more, who was a colleague of theirs at Jane Street, who he ended up investing in and had a fling with 7 years ago or something. I asked Sam if he actually did like Lily Zhang better, and he said yes. Sam told me that the Modulo investment made Caroline substantially pissier, and Sam said that there were some competitive feelings between Lily Zhang and Caroline Ellison where they'd sort of make snide remarks about one another. During her cross-examination, Caroline Ellison was actually asked about her feelings towards Modulo, and admitted that she sometimes had feelings that she wanted to crush Modulo. So kinda spicy, sounds like a little love triangle. Also, I am so sorry if anyone finds this stuff kind of uninteresting or irrelevant, but I'm a girl, so I find this stuff fun. Anyway, this probably wasn't completely comprehensive. I've had lots of conversations with Sam about Caroline, but I just sort of scrolled through some of my notes and searched her name, but I hope you found that remotely entertaining. Anyway, I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. I have been so boring over the past few months. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in like a couple of months. I am not actually trying to go sober. I've just been really busy and I haven't wanted to deal with hangovers, but I will get back to drinking eventually, probably after trial is over. Maybe a couple times before trial's over. And like I've mentioned, I am in New York City to watch Sam Bankman-Fried's criminal trial in person. Since it will not be televised, there are no phones, cameras, or electronics allowed in the courtroom, so I'll be sharing updates here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Substack, etc. So if you'd like to follow me, feel free to. If not, it's fine. I've also been sharing some excerpts from my in-person visits to Sam Bankman-Fried's house over house arrest for my paid Twitter and my paid Substack subscribers. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, you can subscribe to me. But regardless, I'll be covering the trial and making summary videos for YouTube publicly, so you can also just follow that if you want to. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Aura. Aura is a data security and identity theft company that protects you from scammers and hackers by scanning the web and the dark web for your sensitive information like your passwords, phone number, home address, etc., and alerts you immediately if it finds anything leaked out there and automatically requests removal for you. Aura's actually found some of my personal information like my phone number and my home address leaked out there on the internet, and they've successfully removed a lot of that for me. So I actually pay for an Aura subscription, but Aura is actually offering my followers a 2-week free trial at aura.com/Tiffany or using this handy little QR code right here. Personally, I think it's worth checking out the free trial, even if just to see if any of your personal information has been leaked out there on the internet or on the dark web so that you can try to get it removed. Anyway, thank you, Aura, and I love you all, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.